Hey everyone, John here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a wave pattern long here on the Russell. Now the way that it's setting up, normally I take my first target at 1241.7. Problem is, it's only 3 ticks away, right? So I don't necessarily want to go to 41.7, so that one's kind of out just because it's too small for our stop. So the target that we have to gun for is 42.6. So the target's going to be up here. We're going to take 2 contracts off there, and then we're just going to go and kind of filter out for the rest of them. Since it is so small in terms of that first target, it wouldn't be a huge surprise to see it rise a little bit higher and start really kind of tagging these more extended areas. But again, this is kind of the situation where it's a little bit more discretionary. It makes it a little less in terms of a high percentage trade, but at the same time, you also have room to get back up to here. You can see we're grinding these highs on the Russell. We're getting a nice pullback. This is working on the 9th wave, so we're a little late in the wave count, but we just had an absolute perfect test of that trigger zone and a bounce right back out. So I really like how this looks to the upside. It's 8:46, so we're a little bit early. We did have some bigger news coming out at a little bit earlier at 8:30. That really didn't move the market a ton, but the next big announcement's coming out at 10 o'clock. So we do have a little bit of room before that bigger number comes out, but because we're so early on the Russell, this may take a couple hours for it to get going. Now looking to take that first target off from our entry, coming up at 42.6, so that's going to be 11. So we're taking 2 off there, it'll be 22. The next target's going to be above that at the next extension level, 43.4 will be 19. And then the final one, you really have an option. You can go to 44.4 or you can go to 45.9. Typically, when you're getting into these trades where that first target is null and void and you're going for a bigger target, you can usually extend out and get a bigger move if it's going to go. So 45.8 is where I'm going to leave it, but I will trail aggressively once we hit this 44.4, and we'll just kind of play it by ear, if you will. So looking for a continued move up to 45.9, and that'll be 43 ticks. So all in all, we're looking at 2 off at 11, that'll be 22, plus another 19, plus another 43. So a potential of 84 ticks on the trade if we can get this thing going. But again, pretty slow. So we'll just kind of let it do its thing. And as we get closer to that first target of 42.6, we'll come back and we'll start up recording. Again, this may take 20, 30, 40 minutes before it actually starts moving. So we'll be back. All right, we're coming into that target. We got one filled. Haven't filled the other one yet. We're testing it. We're kind of bouncing off that level. There we go. It's got that filled. So let's get that stop to break even, and we'll just kind of let the rest of this trade work out. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. I mean, we got long at about 8:45 or so, and it's going on 9:05. So, it hasn't been short, but it hasn't been a super long trade by any means yet. So just kind of sitting in the trade so far, doing pretty well. Got 22 ticks locked in the bank. Just looking for continued movement up to the next target, 43.4, and then because, again, the way that the trade's set up, I'm looking for a more extended target up to 45.8, but we will be very cautious around 44.4. Definitely want to see what happens there in terms of, does it stall there? Is there a reason to get out a little bit early? That kind of stuff. And if so, then we'll get out early. But right now, looking at 45.8 is the final target. 43.4 is the next target. So just kind of grinding away here. We are hitting into the highs. We're making a new wave up, so we're sitting pretty well. But again, it can take a little bit of time. So we'll give this the time it needs, see if we can push up to that 43.4. Stops at break even +1 already. So we're more than happy on the trade as is, but we'll let it go and see if we can hit that next target. All right, perfect. Just pushed into that target there. We're getting a little bit kind of chopped up through here in coming into this 43.5, 43.4 area. We're getting a little stuck. We did end up filling the trade, but it was looking a little bit kind of touch and go. We came 1 tick away and we kind of faded off a little bit. You can see that from this little kind of wick at the low here. So you can tell that they're kind of duking it out right here. Definitely a little bit of a fist fight. So, maybe 44.4 doesn't look too bad. We'll still play it by ear. I'm going to let it go up to that level and actually hit it to tell me whether or not I should be getting out early. But outside of that, everything else looking really nice. Let me unclutter the chart a little bit here. 44.4 is the level. Let me get rid of this. There we go. So 44.4 is kind of the area that we're going to be looking for in terms of interest. Again, if we see it start kind of rejecting that area, then we may get out a little bit early. But overall, looking up to 45.8 next. So we'll see if we can get that push up. We'll keep an eye on 44.4. If it just blasts through it, then we'll be all right. If it gets stuck there, then we may get out a little bit early. So still looking to aggressively trail the stop, but we are kind of seeing this continuing movement going into the open. We've got the open right around the corner now, about 10 minutes. So, with the open at 9:30, that may catch a little bit of a bigger spike, it may just reverse it right back down again. Obviously, since I'm long, I'm hoping for the spike higher, but we'll see what it wants to do. Opens in 10, and area next is 44.4. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, getting a strong push. There we go. I just got my stop locked in, and we already hit the target. So just a huge move after the open there. We're hitting just massive buy orders. Now, you can see when we first tagged that 44 area, we actually caught a little bit of rejection. But, you know, our stop was already moved up a little bit higher, and it was only a one-tick rejection. You know, if this would have continued a little bit lower, then I definitely would have been looking to get out, you know, a little bit early. But in this case, it was only one candle, and then it went right back up again. And then from there, it actually acted as support. It broke through it, tested it, and then bounced off of it. So that was kind of what drove this next push up into our target here. So just a beautiful reaction in that area, and just an overall awesome example of a wave pattern, a little bit early, but setting up absolutely perfectly. And this is what a perfect wave can do. So just really, really strong movement higher, and just awesome profit on the trade. So overall, again, 2 off at 11, that gives us 22, another off at 19, and another at 43. That gives us 84 ticks on the trade total, $840. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to send us an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.